What we wanted to do with Vincent, especially outside of the pure, let's say, number communication, is to shed some light on some of our edges compared to competition, and also explaining basically how confident we are in the future. So like 5 of them that we will deep dive. Our positioning, I think some of you guys have already understood well how we pioneered this market 7 years ago, but we'll go again in those details for those who join us for the first time. Our global scale that enables us to talk to international clients and help them roll out their large transformation. Of course, technology is at the heart of Artefact, and we can really, and we strongly believe we are masters as well as contributors in this ecosystem of AI techs. Clients, and we've been mentioning a lot of them in the past, but we are proud partners to some of the biggest brands on Earth, and of course our top-notch talent. So idea of those following slides is to deep dive in each of them, and I will hand over to Vincent to kickstart with our pioneer positioning.
Yeah, thank you, Guillaume. And so I will explain a bit the mission and how we reposition Artefact to basically better serve our clients. So the mission of Artefact, so our why, is really to transform organization into consumer-centric leader thanks to data. And I think every word here in this sentence has its own importance. So first, transform. I think position Artefact not only as an agency, but really as a partner to shape future organization. So we are not an agency anymore. I would say we are really today a very special end-to-end partner that really shape our client future. Second one is organization. Today, our clients are really, I would say, billion sales company with multiple regions, multiple BUs that require a thorough way of working. And I think it's really one of the benefit of working with Artefact is that we can really work on a global scale with our clients. Consumer centric, I would say today is the North Pole of our client. It's really how I leverage all the info I have on my consumer to basically reorganize all my department to be better, to be closer to the I would say, final client. And obviously data, but data is the way we do it. And it's really one of our really special advantage at Artefact. So if I dig a bit more in how we do it now, so at Artefact, we are really very lucky, I would say, to have the 3 main components we need to have to basically help a client being consumer-centric. First, we have, I would say, digital. It's an heritage from NestBooster. It's really important because it's being able to know the digital world is being able to exactly know where the consumer is. Today, more than 90% of the data sources we leverage today are coming from the digital world. Data, obviously, it's what we do know about the consumer, and it's skills we have at Artefact. Data and engineering are really, I would say, useful to leverage insight about the consumer. And the last word is our consultant on, I would say, product manager is really how to solve the business problem of our client. So I would say the vision of Artefact is really to reunify 3 different words. One word of the, I would say, the old agency digital marketing, very useful to masterize the digital ecosystem. One word, a technical word, which requires strong data skills, I would say, and the last word, but consulting to be very business focused. And these 3, I would say, circles are really how we do it at Artefact. Now, if I go a bit more in our services, so François mentioned that we spent time in 2020 to restructure a bit our portfolio of services. Today, we have 3 main kind of offers. The first one is data transformation, is really helping our clients set up the right foundation to be consumer-centric. Example of what we do, end-to-end data governance, how I structure my data. Data factory, how I organize my team to build the right product with the right services. So basically, data transformation is the first layer of the services to be, I would say, organized to leverage data to build the right product and services. The second pillar, data for marketing and sales, is really, I would say, the core of our services today. It's really corresponds exactly to our positioning. It's leveraging data, consumer data, to develop use cases to help our clients really improve their marketing and sales effort. Example of what we do today, create a first-party data environment I guess everyone is aware of the environment constraints, regulatory constraints around this. A second example would be, for example, to deploy the right tools and analytics to basically have the right stack to know the consumer and engage in the digital world. The last part is, I would say, the digital marketing. Here we engage with the consumer in the digital world, leveraging all what we did before. So the pillars are very connected, and we absolutely connect the dots for our clients. So the last word is really, I would say, campaigns and contacting the client. And here we have three main offers. One, which is, I would say, the traditional digital media coming from XNet Booster. Basically, we leverage data-driven campaign. And we added, on top of this existing offer, two new offers. One is e-commerce, where we help our client end-to-end from strategy to operation in and out platform. So on Amazon, for example, and outside Amazon. And here, I would say we are very good at defining strategy and operating for our client, especially in Asia, or where we are one of the only few agencies registered as a Ali partner. So we have access to a special tool, which is called Databank, and only a few European agencies have access to it. And the last part is social CRM and influence. And again, here, it's a new offer that we developed a couple of years ago to basically connect the dot between the social world and the CRM. And again, for example, in China, we built a WeChat mini program to basically help our clients engage using social and CRM in Asia. So as a consequence, Artefact is repositioned, I would say, at the frontier between two main, I would say, axes. One is the data world, where here we see, I would say, traditional GSI such as Capgemini or Accenture, and also the traditional consulting. We see very, very often BCG in front of us today when we do RFPs for our clients, for example. And the second axis, I would say, is marketing. And here we also see this kind of same companies, but also obviously traditional agencies. And we say Artefact is uniquely positioned to be at the frontier between data and marketing at a global scale. The only example we have in mind, and obviously we are all very different, but I would say the closest type of player we are confronted to today are S4, with his especially Mighty Hive, and Jellyfish, which is, I would say, the digital arm of Fimalac. And we do believe that Artefact is very, very well positioned in Europe, as Guillaume and François mentioned tomorrow, with China and the US at global scale. And we have a unique position between data and marketing to be, I would say, one of the key global players in that field today. So the second pillar is a global impact. I would say one of the forces of Artefact is to be able to engage with our clients, to talk to a CEO of a company, and to be able to develop, I would say, at scale, with an homogeneous and rigorous workforce, some campaigns, some tools, some strategies as well. So we are really today, I would say, a strategic arm to a CEO to basically engage for digital and data transformation. This requires to be positioned in all the key regions, but also to be able to engage in a coordinated way. And this is, I think, one of the key differentiators of Artefact, thanks to, and Guillaume come back to that, thanks to our partner organization today. So today we think we are truly global. The last update is obviously the US, and we did communicate on that. So with the US, we think now that we are positioned in, if you can go back, please, Charlotte, we are positioned in the three main regions that are absolutely critical to basically engage with our clients at the global scale. And we will communicate, I would say, on our region performance like this tomorrow. So we do have a footprint now in Europe, EMEA, where the main offices are France, UK, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, and Dubai. Our second region is APAC. And the third region today is Americas with USA and Brazil. And we think with these three main regions, we are now a very, I would say, critical and important player that can play on data marketing on the global scale. So I will zoom in the US because it's really, I would say, the top news of this communication. Voilà, so quick recap on US. US is today one of the largest markets for digital and data marketing, as you probably know. I would say the key element is it's one of the biggest markets in digital and data marketing. Voilà, as example, e-commerce penetration is way higher than the other region. The share of digital advertising is 60% in the US versus 50 or 40% in the other region of the world. The growth in digital marketing is also higher, so we expect a very exciting market. We do expect also a really, I would say, fierce competition. And actually, some of our competitors, Jellyfish and Mighty Ape, are actually performing quite well in the US with amazing growth. The average growth in the region in digital marketing is, I would say, twice the growth we see in Europe, with more than 25% growth in digital marketing. Last, our client, for example, L'Oréal and Samsung, and other very big CPG, which are, I would say, the main target client for Artefact, are also very present in the digital marketing in the US. So entering the US, we will enter, especially with, if you can go to the next page, Charlotte, with our digital marketing offer. So we will try to be very focused because it's one of the key, I would say, criteria of success entering the US with a very distinctive offer. And so we will position in two main axes. The first is helping our client create a first-party data environment that help prepare for cookieless world. And to engage with that, we have prepared a very organized maturity audit, basically to help our client define what could be the few steps to create this clear first-party data environment. Where actually in Europe, we are quite advanced because actually GDPR comes from Europe. The second area where we want to help is help our client accelerate in a post-COVID environment with e-commerce through predictive analysis and customer insight. And here we do also believe that with Artefact forces with digital marketing and data, we are also quite well positioned to work on that. The good news is that we have already known a few success because after only 3 months of opening the US, we have already actually a team in the US and a few client success, including L'Oréal, which is a public success. We communicate on that. So we are very confident in the success of US in the next coming months. This confidence comes from actually our proven track record in opening, I would say, new offices, or I would say reinforcing the existing digital marketing offer with data and data consulting. And here on the chart, you see the behavior after 6 months, 12 months, 18 months of opening the office. So we do believe that we have quite good confidence in the success, especially now that we have confirmed the start of L'Oréal. The growth driver of our expansion are quite similar. First, we focus on our existing client base with cross-sell offer, international cross-sell offer. It's what we did with the big clients such as L'Oréal, and we do it with Samsung and other big clients. Second is to drive local contacts that we have already in the US, thanks to Google, for example. And third is to create synergies. The synergy we will leverage, for example, in the US is to leverage the Brazilian workforce, which is very good in data, especially, and locating in the same time zone. Voilà, to finish with, we are very happy to present you the team which will be operating in the US. So Radi Obeka is a very senior professional with almost 20 years of experience and 15 in the digital marketing. He's the ex-global CDO of Unibail-Rodamco Westfield, So he was located in Los Angeles, and so he will drive the office. Plus two, and Radi is also an alumni from Bain and Company. He will be joined by two ex-French senior members of Artefact, so Sophie Gallet and Tristan, who have both more than 3 years of I would say knowledge presence at Artefact, and he will join the team. The two other people will be joining are US citizens. So we are quite excited and happy with the seniority of the team, with the fact that after only 3 months, we have already confirmed on opening 2 offices, one in, I would say, the main office in New York for engaging with our client, and second, smaller office in LA to get actually a close contact to Google and Facebook. Very excited by the seniority of the team and very happy with the client success. So now I will zoom very quickly on our technological age. Just a quick recap of our vision. The way we see technology is really very open and transparent. First, we really see ourselves as a quite advanced technological company. To give you a rationale behind it, 1/3 of our staff is actually a technical person at Artefact, either a data engineering or a data scientist or a data analyst. I would say that all our projects today have a technical component. Some of our projects are actually super advanced technically and scientifically. That means they require a breakthrough in the way they are organized in terms of infrastructure, and also breakthrough in the way we leverage data science to operate in very advanced machine learning algorithm. Our vision is super clear. We build custom solutions for our client in a transparent way, and we integrate this solution to their IT. So basically, we build open product and we transfer to them. These products are all linked to data marketing. 99% of the time, this solution is run on the cloud, either from Google, Amazon, or Microsoft that belong to our clients. So actually, we develop this product, we make them run on cloud, and then we transfer to the client. And there are only a few companies that are able to do that, and actually even less that are able to do that in the digital and data world. When we do that, we actually, thank you. We actually have developed, after years, and I would say hundreds of projects, we have actually built our own proprietary asset, which is called Artefactory. So Artefactory is our unique repository of algorithm, enablers, and accelerators. And basically, after every project, we step back, we package our codes so that actually the next project will be much more efficient and productive. So we built actually a mini product that we will leverage to actually save time in the next project. We have today more than 100 of these mini products that we deploy every day when we start a new project. So I will give you some example of this mini product. No, next one. Voilà. Thank you, Charlotte. So today we do a lot of what we call advanced forecasting, which is actually helping our client being able to predict what will be the expected baseline, expecting volume of orders in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. We have done that for a couple of CPGs, and we have consolidated after a couple of months some experience to do that. I will give you 3 examples. When we start a project, we do what we call exploratory data analysis, which is actually visualize data to understand the patterns and hidden features in the data. So we have developed a mini product that helps us spot seasonality effect. And so we leverage this to identify what could be a potential pattern way quicker than before, because we have the experience of this seasonality. So we have a product to detect the hidden patterns in the data immediately. Second example is data preparation. When we do a modeling, we spend really most of our time in preparing the data. And sometimes it's really time consuming. So we have developed a mini tool that actually organizes the data in a way that really fasten what we call feature engineering. For example, organizing weeks when we have days, organizing seasonality and holidays when we have when it's not done. So actually saving the time of the data scientist usually take a couple of days, almost 1 week to do this preparation. And today with this tool, it's less than 1 day. And the last part is modeling. It's actually the more visual part of it. We have actually organized our library of model so that the data scientist can test easily different models and select the one that fits more the data. And all these models are public and open source, but we have actually organized the way we have access to this model in a way that it's a real time-saving dispositif for our data scientists. So these are actually 3 examples of how we leverage our time after project to organize our knowledge on Artifactory, which is our library of codes and enablers. Now, I will lead it to Guillaume that will detail a bit more our clients.
Thanks a lot, Vincent. So I think you're now all clear that we're a service company, and like in every service company, clients is really the heart and the soul of everything we do. And also in our case, a very strong unfair advantage or edge, as I mentioned. First element that is very specific at Artifact is we're really focused on brands. So we have an extensive understanding behind this term, which is like for FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, luxury, high-tech, pharmaceuticals, basically excluding mostly the digital pure players, right? So all those brands that used to go mainly through retail to put their products on the market and to talk with their end consumers. We have a couple of logos in there of the biggest brands we are working for, and we are very proud to be a day and night helping them to catch up in the digital fast-paced world. If we go next, Charlotte, thank you. But I think a lot of companies have those logos as well, right? If we want to be very honest, right? And we have many people working with L'Oréal, many people working with Orange, many people working with Samsung. And we wanted to share with you a bit the way, how specific and how close we are with those large brands in terms of our revenue. And at the end of the day, you know, our revenue is the number of people involved with those clients, and therefore the level of intimacy, the level of presence that we have days after days with them. And we changed quite radically when you look at those numbers. Like if you go on the chart on the left-hand side, you see that in 2018, the clients that were above 3 million euros was only one of them. We had only one client. They were representing 8% of our revenue. And we had 5 clients between 1 million and 3 million euro of gross margin with us. So the amount that they would spend working with us. And total was like a good third of our global revenue, those clients above 1 million euro, like a quarter actually, 26% of cumulative revenue. In 2020, we are now nearly half, so nearly 50% of our revenue are coming from those clients spending with us more than 1 million euro. That's a complete change of focus for us. Yeah, I do believe quite strong barrier to entry since we have this depth of relationship with those clients. That's translated quite directly into the top 5 or top 25 average revenue per client. If you look at the top 5 that moved from 2.5 million to 4.2 million. What it means is we now have clients that are really in the multi-million size, close to 5 or potentially 10 million euros per year. If you think of it as a revenue per head, so per person working fully for a client between 150 and 200K per year, that means we have some clients with over 20 or 30 people working full-time in their transformation on data and digital. Now talents. So second heart of a service company, the people forming it, and like most of our capital is actually intellectual capital. Wanted to share with you a bit our organization, not in many details, but some of the specificities, I would say, of Artefact that are very much inspired by, I would say, two things: consulting model for a big part. You remember Vincent and myself, and a lot of our partners are coming from consulting firms, as well as the new, let's say, very decentralized organization that are, I would say, even needed to attract the young folks that work at Artefact in data science or in the consulting or in software engineering. So it's organized like that, right? You have in lines, you have what we call the chapters. Those are our expertise, right? And we have expertise in consulting, in data marketing, in data science, in e-commerce, in display, in SEO, and many of them, right? And those chapters, they gather the communities of experts, and they really focus on how they work on their expertise, on their career track, how they attract the best people, and so on. And you have in column what we call the growth tribe or the partnership, which is basically our commercial arm. Okay, and those guys are organized in client teams, client tribes. So you have some example there: Sodexo, L'Oréal, Danone. Of course, those are pure example to explain. Right? So you have this matrix of chapters representing the supply, the delivery side of Artefact, and the partnership representing the commercial force serving clients. Right? And we're very proud of this partnership. And I think you've seen in our past communication, we're very often communicating about the new partners joining, about their background, about their past experience. We just mentioned about Hadi joining us as a managing partner in the US and his very strong background in the past years. We are also very proud of the fact that we now have a machine that is able to both build and create those partners, as well as attract very strong talents in the outside world. So I just took two of them. Actually, there were four to be elected partners this beginning of the year. Justine from France, who is nearly a baby Artefact. So she started her career with us almost, and she grew from a very junior consultant into a partner. Or Usama, who joined us a bit more recently in Dubai as a director and became a partner. So we really are able to fuel this partnership, this growth tribe, with internal promotion. Very important. And the other element is our ability to attract very strong talents in the outside world, very often from consulting area. And we have, for example, Pierre Bosquet joining us in France as a partner for the French office, coming from several maisons in the consulting and lately for EY. We have Hadi, as Vincent mentioned just earlier, coming from Bain and then pursuing a very successful career for brands and retailers. So yes, partnership really at the core of Artefact structure. Sharing with you, next page, please. No, yes. How it's, what's the impact in terms of how we see and how positive we are about the future of our gross margin. Basically, partners, they are the sales machine, first and foremost. They take care of our clients, and they are the one generating the gross margin, right? What's important to understand, so we've been able to very quickly increase the number of partners we had. So from the 4 partners that we had in 2017, including Vincent and myself, up to 21 at the start of this year. What's really interesting is a lot of them are, of course, quite young, as you can imagine, with some of them with less than 1 year tenure, some of them between 1 to 3 years, and a few, and only a few left with over 3 year tenure. But those partners, they are not immediate sales machine, right? They need a bit of ramp up. And as you can see, I'm sharing a bit also some numbers with you from the year 1 to year 4, in average, how partners and members of the Growth Tribe, how much they generate in gross margin, right? So of course you start quite modestly because you don't have any clients to start with. You don't have that intimacy that you're building with a couple of leaders. And then year after year, you're able to grow your top line, to grow the size and the revenue that you're overseeing. So that's like really the way we see with Vincent about our future. First, a lot of embarked growth with our young partners that will generate in the future more revenue, as we've been observing in the past, as well as our ability to create new partners and attract new partners to help fuel this growth. And this is a mechanic that is now very well oiled and that is working quite awesomely for us in the past years.